You gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. He looked good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off Day with Matt Randazzo here on a Tuesday in the Quad Cities. Tuesday, June 16th. Thank you guys for joining us wherever you are and however you're taking part of the show. We do gratefully appreciate it. If you're watching us live on YouTube, thank you for that. We appreciate that. Make sure you're subscribing. If you have subscribed, thank you. If you have not subscribed, please do so ASAP. It helps us out a bunch. Also, we are live on X. X has been very, very good to us. So if you're watching on X, thank you for that. Stay interactive with the show. We really enjoy that. There's a chat going on X, on YouTube right now. A lot of guys there every single day. We appreciate you guys. If we're doing an interview, you have a question, a compliment, a complaint, any of those things, jump into the chat on YouTube and let us know. Also, do the same with X as well. Social media has been very, very important to keeping interactive with the show as well. We're also streaming on the WHO streaming app. We appreciate that. We love that. The viewers in Central Iowa have been awesome. We've been doing it for a while now. We are live right now. Of course, the first hour of the show right here on the WHO streaming app. If you enjoy the show, you want to keep watching after the 11 o'clock hour, do that. Watch us on YouTube. But we appreciate you guys, and you'll enjoy our first guest in the state of Iowa. He's a lot of fun as well. Also, we are available on all the podcasting platforms as well. Podbean, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, wherever you get your podcast. Put in Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Listen to the show each and every day. We did do a 3-day weekend, an unexpected 3-day weekend. We had every intention of doing a show yesterday. I don't want to get into it too much. I don't want to feel like I'm complaining, because I'm really lucky to get to go, and I have 4 awesome kids, and they're very active. So we run around like crazy on the weekends. This past weekend, we had, between the 4 kids, 15 baseball games and 8 basketball games. So a combined 23 sporting events from Friday night, Saturday through Sunday. I was up in Dubuque. We'll talk about that a little more in a second. And didn't get back till late. Got behind on the 8 ball, getting some stuff ready for the show. And I had to get ready for my dad's golf outing coming up this week as well. So didn't do a show yesterday. We are full today, tomorrow, and Thursday. No show on Friday as we get ready for the golf outing as well. So gave me a chance to catch my breath when it comes to a busy week, when it comes to the fundraiser at the end of it. And it gave me a chance to line some things up as well. So here we are. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend and enjoyed it. There was a bunch of stuff going on. We'll get caught up from the weekend, and then of course get rocking and rolling and look ahead to what's to come this week as well. As for the show today, we mentioned those people in Central Iowa. If you're a Hawkeye fan, you always enjoy and love Pat Angerer. We get to talk to Pat a lot, throughout the football season, before it, after it even. We try to leave him alone a little bit in the spring, but he's back once again. We'll talk a little Iowa football. We're going to talk about the golf outing coming up. You're going to hear a lot about the Gary Dolphin Memorial Golf Outing this week here on the show. We've talked about it a little bit, but I'm going to talk a lot more about it, and here's why. 1, it's my show. 2, I get to honor my best friend, my dad, who passed away about 13 years ago, this weekend with the Gary Dolphin Memorial Golf Outing. It's my favorite weekend of the year. We do it on Father's Day for a reason, Father's Day weekend for a reason. We raise money for a great cause, and it's become a really cool thing. So we're going to talk about it. There's ways for you guys to get involved in it. We have one more team available. We have a silent auction. We'll get to that in a second. So anyways, coming up to talk about the outing, a little Iowa football as well. And then who knows, when Pat Angerer comes on the show, it's no holds barred. So Pat Angerer will join us in a matter of moments to talk a little football, golf, and who knows what else. Also coming up towards the end of hour number 1 into hour number 2, we're going to get caught up on the Illini. We wanted to do it last week, didn't get a chance to on Friday. So Mike Cagley from the Illini Guys will be along. They added a basketball recruit last week to finish off what is a top 10 for sure, maybe top 5 high school recruiting class to go along with the retention and the transfer. So we'll talk some Illini basketball. Bad news when it comes to Ty Rodgers, former Illinois basketball player who's at Boise State now, suffered an injury again. We'll talk about that and look ahead to the Illinois football season with Mike Cagley from the Illini Guys coming up in just a little bit as well. And also Brendan Sorsby, the saga is done. Texas Tech and Sorsby have mutually parted ways. He will go into the not the expansion. I can't remember what kind of draft it is. I'll figure it out, but he'll go to the NFL draft and possibly get picked by who knows who coming up here soon. So that whole thing and what we learned from it, if we learned anything, I think the outcome is finally correct, but it took a long time to get to the right outcome, which worries me a lot when it comes to college sports. So we'll talk all about that coming up on the show as well. So as I mentioned, a lot to get to. I want to start. We mentioned the Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf Outing. Go to GuyRandazzoGolf.com. There's one team still available to get this thing to 36 teams. We'll have a foursome of Iowa basketball players headlined by Tate Sage and Cooper Koch will be at Highland Springs Golf Course on Saturday. Journey Houston will be there as well, helping us out on the basketball hole that we set up on the tee box on 7 with chips and salsa from Snoop, and it's a blast. So Pat Anger will be in the house, Tom Kakert, Charles Jugasol, Jay Kidwell, Corey Cuffler, you name it. We'll have a lot of people on hand to help. James Zahara, high school coaches. I could go on and on. I'm really excited about the amount of people that are coming to play this year. And we got one spot left. So get signed up at GuyRandazzoGolf.com. And we're also we just launched last night a great silent auction for this year's event as well that we're really excited about. So when you go to GuyRandazzoGolf.com, you'll see an auction tab. Click that. And there's some really cool auction items, including for Iowa football fans, this signed Kirk Ferentz football. Really, really cool. Thank you to the football department for donating that as well. Also, the Iowa women's basketball department and basketball team donated 4 tickets to any game. 4 tickets to any game you want, plus 4 women's basketball t-shirts, dry fit, really cool shirts, and the 4 Hawkeye mugs. So an Iowa women's basketball package can be had as well on the silent auction. So go check that out. Get to an Iowa basketball game this year. Any game this year at Carver Hawkeye Arena. So take advantage of that. Get there as well. The excuse me. There's also a Bennett Sturts signed photo, a Cooper Koch signed photo, and a Luka Garza signed shirt from his retirement ceremony. They only printed, I believe, 2,500 of them. And we have one of them signed by Luka himself at the silent auction. We'll add a few more items most likely throughout the week as well. But all you got to do is go to GuyRandazzoGolf.com. I'll put the link on all the social media as well, and get out there and take advantage of some really, really cool items when it comes to this year's silent auction and the Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf Outing. So as we mentioned, it was a crazy busy weekend for myself. A lot of sports. I was up in the Dubuque area for baseball for my son Chase, and they played good baseball and they did well. And when I'm in Dubuque, I figure, I should reach out to and see if I can maybe steal a beverage or two with this young man. Gary Dolphin. So gave Gary a text, and he's a busy guy, and he's got his internet's been out with storms and everything else. And Sunday morning, this is what happened. Gary came out and watched Chase met Dolph this past basketball season and really loves Dolph. And so you can see the look on Chase's face. He was really pumped to see Dolph come watch him play. And it was great to catch up with Dolph a little bit during the off season as well. And I'll tell people this, and we'll talk with Pat about it a little bit as well. There's not too many better people in this world than Gary Dolphin. And for him to come out and watch one of my kids play baseball, catch up with myself, he's been very good to me throughout my career, just being up in Iowa City and around the Hawkeyes, but especially since he's allowed me to be his pregame host. It's been awesome. So he's a legend in the booth. We all know that. But he's also a great, great human being as well. So really fun to catch up with Dolph a little bit during the off season as we get ready to go, because college football will be here before you know it. It's crazy. And we'll talk about that with Pat in just a second. One more news and notes to get to before we get to the interviews and the meat of the show. Tomorrow's show, we have Will Carius on the show. Really excited about this. Will, a former Pleasant Valley standout, played all 3 levels of division college basketball, D2, D3, then D1 with Western Illinois. Really good college career. He just got done with his 3rd year of being a professional basketball player, 4 seasons involved in that, but just got done in Greece, one of the best leagues in the entire world. And so he's back in the Quad Cities. We'll chat with Will Carius tomorrow on the show. A lot of changes at Pleasant Valley as well. Steve Hillman retiring. Brett Algren, the new head coach, which I watched them play yesterday. They played Alleman in the summer league and looked really good in doing so. So we'll talk much more and a lot of basketball with and a little bit about Greece as well with Will Carius tomorrow on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. But we start today with a guy we haven't seen in quite some time. Oh, so joining us now, the 2024 Guy Randazzo, one of the champions of the Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf Outing, Pat Anger, joins us now. Was that the year, 2024?
Sounds about right. I don't know. It's hard to remember because I feel like Gervais ditched us so many years ago.
Yeah. It's probably
Um,
2023.
yeah. You know what? It was 2024 when we won it because he ditched us last year for the
Yeah.
first year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. You know, he went out on top. I get it. You know, Assumption guys aren't used to winning, and they just don't know how to handle it. So it was, we keep playing, we keep persevering, and we had a tough one last year. And looking forward to getting back on the course this year. Been playing a lot of golf, and um, I do have poison ivy right now, so I am on some steroids. So hopefully there is no drug test because I would fail for PEDs.
Yeah.
So I'm a little
Yeah.
bit concerned about that.
There's a lot in that whole statement you just gave. First off, you have poison ivy. Are you a 7-year-old? Are you 11? Like, how do you?
Yeah, I don't know if
You're a grown man. How do you have poison ivy?
I got poison ivy 3 times last year.
Why? What are you
3
playing in the
times.
woods?
I don't
What are we
know. I
doing?
don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I got it like 2 times. It's got to be something in my yard. It's something in my yard. Or honestly, my wife's probably poisoning me. She's probably,
No,
I fall
she's
asleep.
not.
She's rubbing poison ivy all over my body. I don't know what's going on.
That's a visual we don't need on the show. It's a PG show. Let's not, whatever you guys do at night is what you guys do. If she's going to poison you, I've given her many ways to kill you besides poison ivy. That's not anything we've talked about. So maybe
Yeah.
she's gone
Okay.
rogue and came up with her own thing. No, but like,
It is true.
that's kind of, I think I had it when I was like 10, like once, but then I learned after I got it and was awful that if I see it, I'm never going to go near it again. How do you keep getting it? Like, why aren't you a little more
I don't know.
precautious?
I don't even know if it's poison ivy, to be honest with you, because I know what it looks like. Leaves a 3, right? It's got to be something else. But yeah, like I don't know. It's happened to me quite a few times since I've been an adult. Like damn near every year for the last 5 years, I get it at least some point. It started. I volunteered, and we cleaned up some brush or whatever, and I got it pretty bad that time, and then pretty much every year I've gotten it multiple times since then. It's the
Man,
worst, and I
this-
hate it so much. And I get so mad when I get it, and then they give you steroids, so then you're even more mad. So I'm just I'm all fired up.
This is it's gonna be a fun weekend on the golf course. So how is that going to affect us on Saturday? Because you're going to share a cart, obviously, with Joe. I'm not getting into a golf cart with you. Do you like? Is it all over? Is it gross? Or are you going to wear pants?
No, I mean I don't care how it looks, but I got my legs, I got some on my face. So I'm gonna need at least somebody to apply some calamine lotion on my body multiple times during the outing.
All right, I wanted to promote the outing, and now I don't think anybody's gonna want to come to the outing. Like, I think you're gonna
I don't
scare
know.
people away.
It could be a whole thing. It could be like, hey, you pay $20, you can rub calamine lotion on Pat Anger.
That might
It's
be
not
a
a bad
thing.
deal.
That might.
That
Wow,
could
you just
be a
raised money
moneymaker,
for the
dude.
the cause. I like it. I just don't know why. I just don't want my wife spending like $500 on Saturday. Like, make sure that doesn't happen. I want to raise money. I don't want to lose money. Pat, just the event itself. I know we joke a little bit and all that kind of stuff, but like I'm really lucky to get you and Kay Kurt and Joe and the coaches that come out and Jake Kidwell is going to be out there this year. Corey Cuffler, James Zahara, basketball players from Iowa are coming out. It's going to be fun. It really is a fun time. I don't want to toot my own horn, but like it's a different golf. You do a lot of golf outings. I think you golf like 4 times a week in golf outings. It's a pretty fun time, isn't it?
Oh, it's great. And honestly, Matt, I will give it to you, you and your family. It's a great turnout, and it shows how good of people you guys are, because a lot of people are going to take the time. during an eventful weekend and take the time and spend time with you and honor your dad. So it shows how great your family is. And it's for a great cause as well, too. It's honestly really, and we talk about this, it's the only thing keeping most of us alive.
It's true.
It's the greatest golf outing of all time.
I don't know about that, but it is a fun time with you guys. So hopefully we do have like one team still available. We got a couple drop out, one added in. So if you are interested, if you want to rub calamine lotion on Pat Anger on Saturday, heck, if you're just a stranger, you want to stop by and do that, that's fine too. But GuyRandazzoGolf.com is where it's at. I want to talk to you about your partner, and it's the middle of the summer. I know you miss being in the booth and talking football with Dolph, but I don't know if you saw on social media this weekend, but I was in Dubuque for baseball. Texted Dolph, hey, if you're available for a beer, you want to meet up between game, all this stuff, and he comes out and watches Chase, who you know probably too well, play baseball on Sunday morning. That just, anybody who questions what kind of human being and person Gary Dolphin, he's a goat with the microphone. We all know that. He's just the best, isn't he?
Oh, dude, he's unbelievable. He's the greatest, just human in general. He's a phenomenal guy, and yeah, he'll do anything for you. He has this like tough guy persona, and doesn't want to act like he'll never say how good of a dude he is, but he will literally bend over backwards for anybody. The amount of times he's bailed me out of stuff, like it's just unbelievable. He cares about you. He cares about everybody as a human. And he loves Iowa football. The guy's an absolute machine, and I think he's got at least 20 more good years in him on the radio, and I'm looking forward to that because he's just getting sharper and sharper every time I talk to him.
And he's carrying you as it goes. It's funny because we're trying to run away from youth baseball, and like we get a weekend off. We're like, hell yeah, like we don't have to go. And here's Dolph volunteering to come watch, and you think he's a big deal, like in the state of Iowa, which he is. When you go to Peosta and to Dubuque and all these places that we were at, like he's a rock star, man. Like there's 15, 20 people and he's as nice. I don't know if if he didn't know all of them, he did a good job faking it. Like there's times that you like, shoot, I should know this person, and you don't. Like he did a great job with it. So it was great to see Dolph. You guys have gotten together a little bit, like some golf outings and those type of things. How quickly have you started doing any homework? Have you started looking ahead and researching? I remember your first year doing it, you actually hung out with Tom and I, and we'd have lunch every week and talk football, and then you quickly realized you're smarter than us. Have you started looking ahead at this year's Hawkeyes and started doing the homework yet?
Yeah, a little bit, nothing crazy. I mean, my big thing this week, to be honest with you, it's kind of weird. I've been watching Bettendorf High School football, which is I've been wanting to watch Gavin Stecker, who's committed to Iowa, and then Wyatt Frecking, who's a really really good linebacker out of Iowa. I think if you're a team that's looking for a kid, that's a huge freaking pickup. I mean, both those kids are studs. So I'm going to watch tape with them here next week. Actually, so this week I've been watching a lot of tape on Bettendorf football, which is wild. And then probably after that, then I will get into more of the Hawkeyes and really more of the game prep as well too. It's interesting. I mean, you look at Iowa State and Northern Illinois. I mean, you've got two coaches. Well, yeah, and you and I, right? All these
Yeah.
you got our first three games, all new coaches, which would be very interesting. Assuming they're going to run similar stuff. Obviously, we've got film on what Rodgers did at his previous school, so we'll be able to watch some of that. But it's kind of an interesting first three games because you're not necessarily for sure, what these teams are going to do and what they're going to show up in.
You look at the Iowa Hawkeyes coming up this year. We talked with Scott Docterman last week, and I asked him the question, like, what is the strength of this year's Iowa's offense coming in? I'm sure you watched the show. You love the show. And then I asked him, what are you worried about the most, your biggest concern about Iowa football going into the season? I'm going to ask you the same. Don't copy Doc's answers. I know you watched the show probably 3 times. But quit shaking your head. One thing you're most confident about when it comes to the University of Iowa and the Iowa football team in 2026 is what?
The coaches and the players.
So everybody.
Yep.
That's not. You got to analyze things better than that.
What are you talking about?
Analyze.
I'm confident in the coaches. I'm
Analyze.
confident in the players. I'm confident in the coaches and players.
Which coaches and which players? And don't say all of them.
All of them.
I just said you can't say that. What? Yeah, I know you like the linebackers. I'm going to help you here a little bit. Linebackers, defensively. I know the defense. We won't even say concerns because you're not going to give me anything concern wise. Defensively, offensively, what do you? I know you like the offensive line. Give me something here, Patrick. Be mid-season form. Let's go.
Well, it's interesting. You're going to have a new quarterback, and I know he's both of them. Have a lot of hype. They come from other programs. That'll be interesting to watch that battle. Running back wise, I think we're about as good as we've been. I think we've been really good these last 3 years with solid running back. I want to see the one thing last year that we kind of missed out from Caleb Johnson is just the long runs. All of our longest runs are from our quarterback. O line will be kind of interesting, but it's just, and we talked about this before, is no one's talking about the O line. You've replaced all five of them the last 2 years from the NFL draft. All five of them have gotten drafted. You've got Peeper and Lauk who are studs, very highly touted young guys. Leighton Jones is a guy that I'm kind of excited about, and mainly talked to him and his dad, good family. But he's from Brownsburg, and that's where I live, Brownsburg, Indiana. That's where I lived when I played for the Colts, and it's a great town. Just a lot of tough people, but it'll be cool to see what Barnett does with them. I mean, these guys are all new, and no one's talking about, oh my gosh, we're really concerned with our offensive line because Barnett's such a good coach. Tight ends, Vanami, what a stud. What a freaking stud. What Abdul has done, with all these guys every year. I mean, the dude's an amazing tight end coach and just an unbelievable human being. It'll be fun to watch them. These young guys play with more confidence. And then receiving core. We've got we've got Rock Rapids Reese out there looking like a tight end size wise with all these jacked muscles and stuff and super tall, but running like a receiver. So that'll be fun to watch. And you've got some new guys coming in with Diaz, who's had a lot of hype. Offense, I'm excited to see what they bring. Now, defensively, there's a ton of questions, and I'm sure that's probably what Doctorman talked about is his concerns. I'm assuming, did he say defense? He was concerned with the D line.
Defensive line. Defensive line is the thing everyone talks about. What would your response to that concern be, or are you concerned a little bit as well?
I'm not. I told you, dude. I'm not concerned with anything. I'm not concerned with anything.
All right. I'm sorry.
I think the thing is the coaches develop. We recruit, we develop, and that's what they've done with this defensive line. And Kelvin Bell's a great coach, dude. He develops kids. Hawthorne, will be cool to see him in his second year at Iowa. He had a ton of hype when he came over. Little Yosei Epinesa, that'd be fun to watch. He's a young kid, ton of hype too as well. 25-star recruit coming out. And then
is that a special Tom Kakert scale, like 25 stars? I thought it was 5.
Oh, 25.
Okay.
And then you got Merriweather on the outside. Yeah, the other D line position will be interesting as well too. Who fills that? The D tackle. Linebacker wise, you bring back Montgomery, but you got some young kids with ton of hype as well. Those guys came out. They're studs. They're all freaking running 4.4s. They're all jumping 100 inches on their vertical. That'll be fun to see them develop as well too. And how D line plays, that depends on the group. Secondary wise, Lutmer's going to lead the way. He's going to be a fun guy to watch. Deshaun Lee, I got a chance to talk to him for a little bit a couple weeks ago at a golf outing. Really enjoyed that kid. What I'm excited about is watching these guys develop week to week and get better. And nobody does it better as far as developing guys and improving week in and week out than the Iowa football staff.
It's funny how you went from saying all of them to giving us a scouting report on all of them. That's good. You're in mid-season form, Patrick. I'm proud of you.
No, I'm not. I've got poison ivy and I'm on steroids.
I have to ask you about what everybody's talking about in college football. Brendan Sorsby comes down on Monday night. He's going to the supplemental draft, so he ends his tenure with Texas Tech, and that's all said and done. As someone who had a gambling addiction to college sports before, like yourself, no, I'm kidding. But what are your thoughts? I mean, I like to say like sanity eventually prevailed, but I don't know if we learned anything from anything that happened. I know the right outcome is probably happening, but it's weird that it took that long for somebody to be the adult in the room and say, like, we can't have a guy gamble on college football, admit to it, gamble on his own team, admit to it, and then go play college football for a whole bunch of money. What are your thoughts on the entire debacle, if you will?
Historically, if you're looking at the NCAA to make a logical decision, you're looking the wrong direction. They like, hey, here's the right decision, and here's the decision that you probably shouldn't do. The NCAA is going to do that. Going to do the other one. Yeah, honestly, I didn't even know. I haven't even been following it. I knew initially they'd say he's coming back or whatever, and I just kind of got over it. You kind of assume common sense will prevail. It sounds like it did, I guess. So what's the deal? He's going to
Yeah, he's going to do
supplemental
the
draft?
supplemental draft. They're moving on. They're mutually parting ways was the terminology late on Monday night that came out, that they're kind of done. And you mentioned the NCAA, and I think you're completely right. They usually do mess stuff up, but they did the right thing. He wasn't eligible to play, and then they find a court in Texas that says, okay, we'll figure out a way to make it so it is right. It's just, everything's strange. I mean, Pat, we just had like 3 years ago, Noah Shannon, 2 years ago, whatever it was, lose his entire senior season because he placed like a $20 bet on the Iowa women and self-reported that he did. Guess what? I bet on the Iowa women that year too. A lot of people did. So it's just, that's the weird thing, is it went from people losing their senior years to a kid being able to play until now. It's just, the college sports are funky, Patrick. They're funky right now.
Yeah, I would have loved to have enough money in college to be able to gamble. Like, that would have been unbelievable. It would have been, yeah. I remember, sometimes I'd have enough to buy a Pancheros burrito. That was always a good night for me.
It's
That's not a gamble. That's not a gamble, because you're going to win no matter what when you
With
have a
Pancheros?
Pancheros burrito.
Look, that's
Yeah.
it. And they're not a sponsor of the show, but they could be right now. Pancheros, if you're watching, you could be. I mentioned to Joe Wieskamp before I let you go a week or so ago that he just missed out on, a 6'7" guy who shoots 40% from three and rebounds and athletic. He's probably worth $4 or $5 million this year, and he didn't see any of that. You ever think of that stuff? What would Pat Anger be worth this time if you were in your prime, which some would argue, that you're still in your prime, but what would Pat Anger be worth, like, your senior season, if you go into your senior season right now?
I don't know. No, and I don't think about it. Honestly, I think about it a little bit in the fact that I'm happy that I played when I played. Um, One, we didn't have camera phones. That wasn't a big deal. Social media wasn't a big deal. So we're employable, which helps. But I think, honestly, as much as great as it is that these kids are getting paid, I also think about the fact that they have so many other things to worry about that we didn't have to worry about when we played. They've got to worry about their brands. They've got an agent pulling them this direction. They've got marketing people pulling them this direction. They got all this stuff that they have to worry about. They can't be kids, and they can't fail either. Like, we could fail, we can mess up, whatever. You learn from it, you move on. I'm happy that I played when I played, because we could be college kids, we could fail, we could have a good time, we could grow up and not be on the spotlight, and for me, the price of that is worth more than what I would have been getting paid when I played. Just the freedom of it.
Yeah, I would agree to an extent. I would love to millions and millions of dollars. I never was in that position. I know this is surprising to you, Pat, but I know I was in the position to make a lot of money because of my athleticism. I know, I get it. Like, people out there are shocked, but that's the way it is.
What positions were you in mostly in college?
We're not. What's wrong with you? That's really well done. That's really, you're proud of yourself, aren't you? Now the question is, like, do we make sure people see this or not? But yes, of course we will see the entire interview with Pat Anger. Is that the steroids? Is that the steroids talking?
What? I don't know. What were you? Were you like I don't know. Were you like a CEO? Did you work at a
I did an intern.
Family
I did
Video or
an intern
something?
at KJOC and at the Highlight Zone with Dan Pearson, one of
Tom
the legends.
Cornella? Oh,
Yeah,
Dan
at
Pearson.
TC,
Yeah.
all of those things. All right. Well, can you get yourself healthy? I feel like I should just let you
No,
keep
can we?
going.
What can we talk about? Like, how long do you? There's been a lot of sports going on. Have you talked about the World Cup? How awesome soccer is?
I haven't. What's your thoughts on the World Cup? I didn't have this on the rundown for you, but you are a soccer guy. I forgot that.
Soccer's great. Yeah, I mean it's way better as far as just gaining athleticism than baseball, which my kids do, and just stand around for 7 innings and do nothing. But no, the World Cup is awesome. Watching USA win on Friday was
Yeah.
freaking great.
No,
They're badass. We're tough. We look tough.
are we winning the whole thing?
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna win the whole thing,
Did you enjoy the UFC fights over the weekend?
dude. They were the best. It was the best. No fight went to the what? No fight went in the third round,
I don't think
or no
so.
fight went in the fourth round.
Yeah, I
It
think
was
that.
yeah, just the dudes are out there fighting. And what's interesting too, the rain delays, like that's an issue. The fact that these fighters are able to get through the rain delay, and all the hoopla of everything, and they're fighting outside. Like there's a lot of stuff that those guys were just having to deal with in general. And they all went out and they competed really hard. They went on their shields. They all um, it was just a good night of fights. I couldn't stay up for the final one. I got tired. I fell asleep when I watched it this morning, and dude, it was yeah, it was cool. Those guys,
Yeah.
they scrapped.
Before I let you go, your golf game. You golf this weekend with your kids?
Yeah.
How does that go? Like, are they decent? Do they get mad if they aren't decent? Are they? My kids will go out and they expect to make birdies every hole. I don't know why. I don't know why my kids think they should be good at anything, but they expect to make birdies every single hole, and then they throw fits when they don't like par or birdie every hole. Are your kids cool about it or no?
Emmett gets a little worked up. My 12-year-old, he'll hit a shot and be like, "Oh!" And it's like, dude, I've watched you hit that same bad shot for the last 25 shots in a row. Why are you surprised? It's almost like when they strike out in baseball. It's like they're like, "Oh!" It's like, dude, I've been watching you strike out since you were 4 years old. What are you talking about? Like, you should be used to this by now.
Yeah.
Kale's
You're a
more
good
like
dad.
me.
You're a good dad. You're a good dad.
Kale's more like me. He swings hard. He has a good time. Emmett figured it out a little bit toward the end. Like, hey, dude,
Oh,
we're out here having a good time. We're having
yes.
fun. Like, let's enjoy it.
I told my
But like,
14-year-old. Go ahead.
I think I'm teaching him bad habits because I'll hit a bad shot and just pull a ball out of my pocket and drop another one down. And
Shh.
yeah,
No, you
no,
don't
I don't
do
do it.
that.
I don't do it in tournaments. I don't do it in tournaments.
All right. I don't want there's vicious rumors going around that our championship was they should have an asterisk by our championship. Can you believe that?
For why? Why are they
Because
saying this?
Gervais tried to cheat. Remember?
Hmm.
And we had to
I thought he
yell at
just
him.
cheated on his taxes.
No. Do you remember? No, I don't want to get into this. I'm, I'm going to write down what I'm going to say at the end of the outing this year. Like, I had my brother yesterday suggest that, like, can you have an outline of the
Yeah.
things you should say afterwards? I'm like, you can't censor me. Like, we're
Yeah.
here to talk. Give me the microphone. Yeah. Anyways, some
Yeah.
ill-timed jokes maybe last year, but I thought they were funny. I thought they still hit, right?
Well, the problem is, when you're, a couple beers deep, some stuff seems funny to you. That's
It's not
not
my fault.
necessarily
I was overserved.
appropriate.
I was overserved. That's not my fault.
Yeah.
Not my fault.
Hey, NBA Finals.
Well, you came.
How about that?
You came to bring it. Hey, do you root
How about
for
that?
For New York? Are you a New York Knicks? Like, are you okay with that? You don't seem like a New York guy.
I like Jalen Brunson.
Yeah. Oh, he's and
Dude.
the way he approaches everything.
Dog.
Yeah.
Dog. Dude's a dog.
Little Pat McAfee.
He's a beast,
Little
man.
Pat McAfee on
What?
the show today.
What a machine. That guy's badass. He's tough,
Yeah.
and he's resilient. And so what I think I saw something that the Spurs led 74% of the time during that series. Something like that, something crazy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they won one game. Unreal. And they
is
got one guy
Wemby-
that's like 9 feet tall.
Is I'm still getting used to it. I think he looks weird on the court. Am I the only person who's like, I look out there and I'm like, why does that guy look like a giraffe? Like, it seems different. It looks like me
Well,
playing
it's-
basketball downstairs with my kids on like a 6-foot hoop.
He looks extraordinary around extraordinary people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He looks like a giant amongst giants, which is freaking wild, man. And he moves good. He moves like you. He's very athletic.
I was just surprised after the way they won game 4, the Knicks, I thought for sure, like, you know, have you ever won a game and you just have that emotional letdown the next week? I thought, or the next game, I thought for sure they would go down to San Antonio. The Spurs would bounce back. The Knicks would be on that high from winning, and they'd go back to New York for game 6 or whatever. I was surprised it ended in 5. You weren't?
No, I never had a letdown. I was always ready to go.
Wait till you watch this interview later. You'll be let down.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. My wife always gets really sad when the team that wins the championship at the other team's court. She always gets sad. So I was like, oh, it's just not as fun.
It is more fun. Did you see New York? Is New York still like? Is it been burnt down yet? Or I can't.
Yeah, I don't know.
That went well that night.
Yeah, I'm assuming it wasn't an ideal situation.
Did they?
But you know, they'll be all right. They got a solid thing going on out there, right?
Yeah. Do they? No comment. All right, I just didn't know. They must have a solid thing going on.
I don't know. I feel like things are going well. Who knows?
I look forward to the Lions winning the Super Bowl and what happens in Detroit. Like, I think it's just going to be an absolute. I told the kids, if the Lions ever win the Super Bowl, we'll go up for the parade. Like, I'd be there in a minute. But when the Hawkeyes win the national championship, what would we do? Would there be a parade in Iowa City or anything like that? They don't do that. But what would, like, they come back home with the trophy or something? You get off the plane with Dolph, and it'd just be great.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome.
Good. This year?
Hell yeah.
Some people
Whenever.
think like
Bring
2
it.
years from now more than anything. Thank you, by the way, for when I asked you the strengths of the team and you said the players, the coaches and the players.
That's the what are you talking? That's the strength.
Bring these same steroids. Make sure you're still on these on Saturday. This has been fun. This has been ideal. And this is what people get forward. Hey, I forgot to mention, I probably bad timing, but Pat Anger is brought to you by Linquist Ford. Over in Bettendorf. So you are. I'm supposed to say that. You are. So yeah. Pat Anger is brought to you by Linquist Ford. Great people over there, and we know that as well. So, all right, buddy. Anything like Monday Night Raw? Do we get everything? Anything else? I'm
trying to think. No,
I love
nothing.
you eating up a show for me. This is great. I'm just trying to.
I got you. Yeah, you said nobody would call you back, so you needed me to fill some time. So I'm hoping.
That's not 100% true. Kind of true, but I'm just trying to I want to get to the weekend. I want to, everybody has Friday off and you go right into the weekend and you're rocking and rolling.
Yeah. So, how's your golf game?
I feel pretty good. I do. I got to golf a lot this year. So, now for me, like pretty good so we went out, Chase and I went out and golfed, and I felt like I was golfing good. So I said, hey, it was funny. I went to, I bad shot in the fairway, and for Chase, I was like drop another one, you know, like you allegedly sometimes do. And he goes, Dad, why don't you just drop another one? I'm like, I want to do this legit. I wanted to see how I was actually golfing, if that makes any sense. I didn't want to be done and be like, oh, I shot a whatever, knowing damn well that I had 4 mulligans. And so I was as honest as I could possibly be. For me, I shot an 87. Yeah. That's not bad, is it?
I've never kept score.
That's not true.
So I'm assuming that's good.
That's not true. You've kept score.
No, I don't keep score.
Never kept score. That probably would explain some of the funny scoring that happens when we're out and about. But
I don't keep score. So
somebody else keeps score for you.
Whoever's keeping score.
What's the best 18 you've ever shot?
What do you mean, like in a best ball?
No, like have you never, like when you went golfing with your sons this weekend, you guys didn't have a scorecard?
No, we're out there playing, bro. We're having a good time.
Don't we're out there playing, bro. Me,
bro.
What are you talking?
What are you talking about?
Gee,
what are you talking about, man?
Jeez, we got McAfee here. We got bro here. My goodness,
bro. I'm playing with the boys, bro. We're having a good time.
I feel like I'm playing really good golf right now. That's me.
But, all right. Well,
so
here's the
you're
thing.
playing.
Joe said he's playing good. I'm not playing good. I will never say I'm playing good. Never.
But you hit the ball 400 yards or whatever. You you don't know where it's going, but you just kill the ball.
I suck. So if I hit any good shots on Saturday, That's a win. And I appreciate you getting me, get me on the golf course on a Saturday. I'm really looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a good time.
Real quick, what about the secret weapon?
Are you talking about the CarMax on the driver?
I'm
Is that what you're talking about?
talking about Corey Sheets. He
Oh, okay.
says
I thought you were.
he wins every putt contest he's in every event he's in. He's that good a putter.
Good.
How do we lose?
Just got to get it on the green. Just
How
got
do
to
we
get it on the
lose?
green.
You drive
We
the
don't.
green. You drive the green. He puts it in. Joe and I might just sit in the cart and look at the signs as we go by, like from all the
That's
great
if Joe
sponsors.
shows up.
He'll show up. All right. I have to let you. I have to continue the show. I can't wait till Saturday. Don't do anything stupid. Don't get more poison ivy. You always come up with something towards the end that like, hey, I might not make it because like whatever. I just behave yourself, okay? Be safe.
We'll see.
All
Love
right,
you.
pal. See you, buddy. It's Pat Anger joining us Off There with Matt Randazzo. We got a lot more to get to coming up after the break. And a quick reminder, we have a really cool silent auction going on right now for the Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf Outing. Go to GuyRandazzoGolf.com, go to the silent auction. We got a Kirk Ferentz signed football. We have a great package from the Iowa women's basketball team, including 4 tickets to a game. Whatever game you'd like, 4 t-shirts, 4 mugs. It's fantastic. Bennett Sturt signed picture, Cooper Koch signed picture, a Luka Garza signed limited edition retirement shirt from the game that they retired his jersey. A bunch of great stuff there. Go to GuyRandazzoGolf.com and help us out and partake in the Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf Outing, even if you're not out there golfing, when it comes to the actual silent auction itself. Up after the break, Will Carius, former Pleasant Valley standout, professional basketball player, will join us. We'll catch up with him right after this on OTA. For over 65 years, Linquist Ford has proudly served the Quad Cities, and they're just getting started. Looking for a new ride? Check out a healthy mix of new and quality pre-owned vehicles ready for you. Need service? Skip the waiting room. With free pickup and delivery and mobile service, they come to you. No delays, no hassle. From routine maintenance to a full-service collision repair shop, it's fast, friendly, reliable, and always transparent. Linquist Ford, serving the Quad Cities since 1959. Experience the difference today.
This summer, light the fuse on something bigger than fireworks. It's red, white, and you at the John Deere Classic. July 1st through 5th with world-class golf and 4th of July energy you can feel. Wednesday is Youth Day and kids 15 and under get in free with a paid adult. After golf, concerts on the course rocks the weekend. Carrie Underwood, headlines and All-American 4th of July celebration. And Old Dominion closes out Sunday. Stars, stripes, summer tradition. Get tickets now before they're gone at johndeereclassic.com.
Hey, I'm the Crawford guy.
Ooh, do you guys always speak at the same time?
Sorry, guys. I'll go first. You know, if you need help with your heating or air conditioning,
or electrical,
or plumbing, Crawford Company can solve your problem.
But what about your problem?
What problem?
Do you not hear yourselves? Take it from me, the Crawford lady.
And me, the Crawford guy.
Crawford is the comfort company.
Welcome back to Off There with Matt Randazzo here on a Tuesday in the Quad Cities. We've talked a lot of college sports, of course, today, last week as well. Haven't talked of a lot of Illini of late, and we need to do that. I wanted to do that last week, towards the end of the week, and of course, didn't happen. So we're going to do that, both college basketball and college football-wise as well, with a familiar face here on OTA. Our good friend Mike Cagley from the Illini Guys joining us right now on Off There with Matt Randazzo. Mike, how are you, young man? Always good to see you.
Yeah, it's crazy because there's really no off season anymore. It seems like there's always something going on, and that's beautiful for us because it gives people a reason to subscribe. But man, you don't have any downtime. You see both Iowa and Illinois doing a ton of football recruiting right now. And of course, now you have EYBL in basketball and various local stuff going on. So you see a ton of folks who are, doing things and making headlines, and it just doesn't stop. There is no off season. I think college sports is becoming a lot like, I think the NBA has been the master of having stuff happen all year round. And one could argue that between the playoffs, the NBA draft, and NBA free agency, that the regular season comes in fourth place in the NBA. Will we end up there in college sports? I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny, Mike, because I always say the same thing about the NFL. Like, they make themselves relevant all the time. You get done with the Super Bowl, you get to catch your breath, and then it's the combine. You catch your breath, and then it's the draft, and then June is OTAs, and then July it starts again, and then you're all the way through with the season. So, and I've been talking a lot about the fact that I do think college sports has become like professional sports, and you hear about them all the time. I know numbers. You guys know numbers. You guys see what resonates, and sometimes you look and stuff that happens during the off season has people talking more than the actual, regular season games themselves sometimes. So one thing I don't think I see a lot in college sports that we're starting to see now is just the way teams are put together. You don't normally land the best player in the state of Illinois basketball wise in June. And that's what happened with Brad Underwood, the Illini landing a really good player last week. Lincoln Williams kind of completes a class that's a top 10 class. Some have it a top 5 class. Can you tell us a little bit about Lincoln Williams, a guy that is ranked by most services the number 1 high school player in the state of Illinois?
Yeah, he's actually a good player. I saw him play in EYBL. He's got a 3-point shot. Depends on what game you watch as to what your opinion is. It's not consistent, clearly, or you wouldn't have to. I wouldn't have to say that. But when he's on a streak, he's got a nice looking shot. But he's uber athletic. He's thin. I kind of liken him to a thinner, little bit. Well, probably not, about the same thinness, but a little bit more athletic version of Anthony Welch.
Okay.
So we're going back in time here, but he's got that thin, wiry that sometimes people underestimate what a guy can do. But his lateral quickness is good. He has good explosion. He can get up. So he's a guy who plays hard defense. I think he may find opportunities with Brad Underwood just based on the fact that Brad values defensive effort and defensive effectiveness. And certainly that is something that that basically, he has opportunities that may be a little more real than what we think right now, because the one thing that Illinois didn't have as much consistently the last year until the end was the ability to stop people on the defensive end. And he's a guy who could contribute to that. So let's see where it takes him. I'm not trying to build him up into some guy. He's going to have to play really, really well just to dent the rotation this year. Because Quentin Coleman, we saw how well he looked in the USA game. He played very well. And then the other part is you've got Vox, the newcomer from Providence, who's extremely talented, and I think he may take a lot of the Big Ten by surprise as well.
Mike, how do you put this thing together when it comes to, you look at roster construction, and the retention is the headline for the Illinois men's basketball team. And then you mentioned you add a transfer of his level, and then you have this class, and it's a good class. It's a deep class. It's a six high school player class. I don't want to put the wrong words out there, but this is one of the bigger classes high school wise that's Brad's had in a while. 6 kids. How does it come to fruition next year? You know what you have with retention and the transfer. You know the top end freshmen that are probably going to contribute quickly. How does it look? Is a player like Lincoln Williams a redshirt candidate, or is it just whoever wants to come and show up and impress early might get Coach Underwood's eye?
I think it's wait and see is what it is, because Coach Underwood plays 8 guys, typically doesn't go much deeper than that. But maybe this year he has the opportunity to do that. It's hard to know. But he's got options, and it is darn near impossible to know who's coming back next year. Right now the easy logic is you will end up with Merck going pro, Stojakovic obviously, and Tommy, for sure. But then I saw a NBA pick for next year, for the draft, and had Quentin Coleman going 6. So it's really hard to know what's going to happen next year. So I think Brad Underwood's tendency is, let's get as much talent in here as we can, and then let's let it break out and see what happens. It's very challenging for these coaches because players get opportunities, and it's very similar to the pro ranks. All you need is one person to target one player, and you lose them. So, Brett Bielema found out in football that a couple different schools targeted defensive linemen who Illinois thought were high potential guys, but maybe hadn't had a chance to fully prove it on the field. And people offered them fully proved it on the field money to individuals. And all of a sudden, you lose a guy here and you lose a guy there, both of them for prices that are probably higher than what you anticipated. So I'm to the point now where I don't really do much roster predicting for the years, other than if you get a big commitment to see if that's going to stick.
No, absolutely. We have Mike Cagley joining us right now on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. If I said to you, this freshman will surprise and make a bigger impact than people thought, I'm not going to let you say Quentin Coleman, and I don't think I'm going to let you say Murillo either. Who else kind of sneaks in there if you had to pick right now on June, whatever it is, middle of June?
Yeah, it's funny, but because of the defense, I'm actually going to say Lincoln Williams, because he may be that guy that when you need, to switch up the pace of a game, you need to get a key stop. Maybe you throw him in there and play a little bit more aggressive for a minute or two. Let him, and whoever else you have in the game kind of switch up the pace a little bit. Maybe you put him in and unleash, Stojakovic a little bit, who proved, I thought against Iowa, he was his coming of age defensively. We didn't see that type of defense. And then after the game, he tells us, yeah, I felt good for the first time all season. Well, give him a running mate, and maybe they can, for short bursts, affect other teams.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Mike, I want to talk about another player that Illinois fans were excited about a while ago and played good basketball in Illinois. And I think any Illinois fan you talk to wishes Ty Rodgers a ton of success moving forward. Of course, he transferred to Boise State. Then unfortunately came news yesterday of this, and this really just stinks. He suffered a injury, out indefinitely once again. Obviously, we don't know a lot of answers about what it is and what'll end up happening and those kind of things, but he's at Boise State. But I know Illinois Nation, you saw it yesterday on social media. It's just a killer for a young man that seems well-liked. Just a bad luck when it comes to injuries. Your thoughts when you see the Ty Rodgers news yesterday?
It was very much disheartening. Ty Rodgers is one of those guys who's just a nice guy. Mm-hmm. And, he's the type, look, I'm not, I go to maybe 1 or 2, maybe games a year, maybe 3 or 4, depending on it, because it's easier to run a podcast live after a game, as from home base than it is to try to do it from, the State Farm Center or Memorial Stadium. And so, you want to be there. Selfishly, you're like, I'd love to be there, but for the good of the team, you don't always do that. And so I don't get to see the players nearly as often as Brad or Ked do. Yet Ty's always been the type that whenever he sees me, he remembers me from past things. And, I was at EYBL and I've been doing that for a while. And, he's just a really good guy. And I still remember, at EYBL last year, I get tapped on the shoulder and it's Ty Rodgers going, "Hey man, we love your show." And I'm like, "Well, thank you very much." And he's talking to me, you know what I mean? It's not me chasing him around and he's just saying something to get the fat guy out of his face, and so super nice kid. And talked about his excitement and about this upcoming season. And then, I don't know, 5 days later, blew out his knee in practice. So just super sad. Saw him again at the Final Four, and he's like, "Hey, how you been? It's been a while," and again, he's got that gift, whether he feels it or not, you feel like he got up that morning just to talk to you. And that's a rare trait that people have. Very nice kid again. So I was saddened by this happening to him 2 years in a row, and he stays in shape. He works out hard. He does all the things, you go back to the Hulkamaniac, he says his prayers and takes his vitamins and he does all the right things. And it's very frustrating to see things work against him. And I just hope that it's a quick recovery for him because he is a great kid. And as long as he's not playing against the Illini, I want him to have all the success in the world.
I think a lot of Illini Nation feels the same way. Mike Cagley joining us right now from the Illini Guys on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. Let's talk a little college football. Some big news that came on a Monday night. The Brendan Sorsby saga is over with him officially leaving, declaring for the supplemental draft. They part ways mutually. It was a head scratcher why it went this far or how it went this far. Obviously, they get it right in the end, and I guess sanity prevails. Your thoughts on Brendan Sorsby, and did we learn anything from what the heck just happened over the last month?
Yeah, I don't think we learned anything because in this case, and you won't generally hear me blame the players or the lawyers who are standing up for the players, but this was a pure, some lawyers like, "Oh, we can win this in court." And I'm sure they could because the NCAA is so bad at what they do over the years that they've made, loopholes for this, that, and the other thing. So it's almost impossible for them to have anything work in court. But this is a real issue to the legitimacy of a sport. And I'm going to have people say, "Oh, you're just an old guy. You're almost 60. You just want to whine and shout at clouds." But if you read the book, The Squared Circle, I think that was the name of it by a gentleman who, David Shoemaker, who does a podcast called The Masked Man for Bill Simmons. And he's one of the foremost experts on the WWE. And in this book, he talks about the history of pro wrestling. And I am not a pro wrestling historian, but he talks about back in the 19-teens, pro wrestling was one of the big four sports in the United States. It was professional wrestling, baseball, horse racing, and boxing. Those were the sports that dominated the American landscape. And there was a champion, and I apologize, I don't have it in front of me, but there was a champion who blew his knee out while it was really a sport. It was a true, we're going to wrestle and see who can win. And there was a champion who blew his knee out, hid the injury from everybody, and then it turned out after he lost, people found out that he bet all of his prize money on the other guy. And overnight, wrestling went from a sport that was one of the big four sports in America to a carnival barker, right there next to the guy who can lift 10,000 pounds and the bearded lady and, all those things. And it literally happened overnight because the fans are like, "This is fake and I'm not going to be watching it." And that was why you hear the stories of the Black Sox. Shoeless Joe Jackson allegedly had one of the best World Series of all time up to that point, but yet he got busted because there were a few people involved in this gambling scheme. And even though it looked like he didn't participate, he didn't understand what was going on and didn't even have the ability to sign his own name. He was kicked out of the sport forever because Kennesaw Mountain Landis, the baseball commissioner at the time, knew that baseball could go the path of professional wrestling if it happened. And so to have somebody betting on their own team, whether they're betting to win or lose, which is you got to kind of trust the person who's breaking the rules, betting illegally, and saying that, I didn't do it against my team. There's a little trust there that may not be earned. And so because if people start figuring out that, quarterback A is out there and he may be throwing that interception because he owes somebody $20,000 and doesn't want his leg broke, or he's got a chance to make $1 million on this game. All he has to do is pretend like he's losing. When you get that, that's an existential threat to college football or whatever sport there is. And when the lawyers start doing it's no big deal, legally, they probably have the argument. I'm not arguing that. I'm not a lawyer. But from the threat that you're exposing the game to, I would tell those lawyers to open up a book and figure it out. It's The Squared Circle, Life, Death, and Professional Wrestling by David Shoemaker. Fascinating book. And it goes over the history of pro wrestling. And there would be no pro wrestling like we found today had there not been that gambling that took the sport from a prestigious sport to a joke in literally 30 days.
Yeah, it's about integrity. You mentioned that. It's crazy. You have the Pete Rose that never got in the Hall of Fame and those type of things, and because of what he did. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's what it is. And then all of a sudden overnight, it's a recent history, Mike, is going back to a few years ago with the Iowa football players, Iowa State football players. It wasn't like a long time ago. You can go back and say, hey, there's an example of people who lost their senior years and suddenly it was okay and it was almost like he was a victim in a way. So sanity prevails, but like you said, it's like if your little kid eventually tells you he's sorry after he did everything wrong and acted like a fool all night, yelled and screamed and fought the punishment, and then finally says, I'm sorry, I'll take the punishment. You're still kind of mad at it didn't go well. So it's fascinating to find out how it affects things moving forward. Some sanity. I don't know if anybody learned their lesson, though. You're right on that. Hey, last week we had Scott Docterman on the show. And I asked him, a guy who knows a lot about the college football and the Big Ten. I know people like, hey, he's an Iowa guy. He's not. He knows all about college football. And we asked him about Illinois. I said, what are your strengths for Illinois coming in the season? What's the one thing that you feel the best about and the one thing that you maybe worry the most about coming into the season? So I'm going to ask you the same, too, before I let you go. Let's start positive.
Yeah,
what's the one thing you like about the season? You want to go worst to first? Go for it.
Yeah. So the biggest worry for me is the defensive line, coupled with the switch to the 3-3-5. That defensive line had a couple key losses of players who had a ton of potential, but maybe hadn't had a ton of playing time. One going to Michigan State, one going to Texas A&M. And I don't know that they got that defensive line is as deep as what Brett Bielema would like it to be. Now, he's never going to make excuse, and he's just going to, it is what it is. But I think I'm very, very concerned because, for example, if you can't stop Iowa from running the ball, they're going to run it 352 times for 1,000 yards if given the opportunity. Yeah. So they're going to have to be able to stop the run in that 3-3-5. And I know it's a unique defense, will make it hard to practice against. But if you don't have enough talent in that defensive line, it also could be a very big challenge. So that to me is the biggest thing that scares me. The biggest thing they have going for me, I'll give you two things. One is I think the quarterback play is going to still be good, which is critical. I'm not saying Luke Altmaier good, but I think they've got a guy who's got the opportunity to be pretty good for Illinois. And the other thing that you have to trust in right now is Brett Bielema. he finds ways to win games. You can say what you want. Brett's not colorful in terms of what they do on the field. You know, they're not going to go out there and people are going to go the greatest show on turf or any of this stuff. But he generally gets the most out of his teams. And if you look at the last 3 or 4 years, if you take out, you know, the Indiana game, really Illinois has been in most of the games. And even, you know, I guess maybe you could take out the Oregon game. But for the most part, he keeps his team competitive week in and week out. And right now, I think that's important because they're going to need all that coaching moxie and all that stuff that he's learned. I think they're going to need it because the Big Ten is getting better. Iowa is back in the game, so to speak. They want to move up. You know, I think there's some frustration over having 9 and 10 win seasons, but yet not going as far as they want to. You have Minnesota who wants to call. They've let Illinois get ahead of them. They don't want that anymore. Wisconsin's went into the toilet, and you know, he's got his back against the wall up there. Nebraska is spending money. I still don't know if Matt Rule can win games that are important, but at least they're spending a lot of money, and they feel very confident. They usually win most of the confidence polls in April and May. So Nebraska fans are very confident again. We'll see what happens during the regular season. Penn State is trying to crawl back with a very competent coach in Matt Campbell. They're trying to set some things going. USC is back, and they got money rolling in, so they've got talent there. And, of course, I didn't even bring up Ohio State, Michigan, and, oh, my God, Indiana. So there are a boatload of teams. And don't sleep on UCLA because they got a fantastic coach when they you know, did their hiring. So there's a lot of good teams. Washington's out again. I mean, you start looking at it, it's starting to get like the SEC, and they're going to need the best Brett Bielema because it is going to be that competitive. And the other thing is, you know, if you're an Illinois fan and you happen to be worth, you know, in the millions or billions, please call and set up an NIL program. We need you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I equate Brett a little bit to Kirk in the way of he usually gets the best out of his guys, like you mentioned, but they get better as the season goes along, I think. And that's one thing you've seen in the past. And yeah, people can look at last year and say they didn't get everything out of that team he could. I think he did. I think the expectations were
I do too.
Tad too high. And still, we go back to, and we've talked about it a ton, if you want to start complaining about victories like that and seasons like that, if you're Illinois, then you're crazy.
You're nuts.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you mentioned, it's a busy time. Illini Guys, a place, a community where you can talk Illinois, you get inside stuff, you get great conversations, and you talk with the people that run the show. Give me a little plug, if you will, on the Illini Guys before I let you go.
Yeah, the best thing is you got the access to our message boards. And that's where you can, you know, read an article or watch a podcast, and then you can go on there and say, hey, you know, Mike, you're crazy. Why would you say this? Or what made you say that? And those are the type of things that are really important when you're trying to get a sense of community. We've got a lot of people who participate on those boards, and almost a ton of our readers, almost all of them, are at least reading the boards. And then we've got maybe 100 or 200 or so who are out there on a regular basis. And we'll argue about anything as long as it's sports related. We don't do politics. We don't get into this right wing, left wing crap. We just talk about Illini sports, pro sports, whatever. And we have a great time of it. And I think that community is what makes it different. And that's how Brad, Larry, and I met years ago on another board, is on the boards talking to one another like that. And we developed a friendship, started going out to pizza together, et cetera. And later on that turned into Illini Guys.
And look what you got today. It is Illini Guys. Mike, we always appreciate you. Thank you for weaving professional wrestling into the conversation, as you always do so well. Hopefully you get caught up with Monday Night Raw from last night, and we'll talk to you soon, my friend. Always appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. That is Mike Cagley from the Illini Guys talking some Illini, some basketball. Basketball is always going on. And there's no, like, when it comes to the calendar and how things used to be, that's not the case. Usually by June, you knew it was going to be on campus in September and October. And that's not the case. They're adding, they're tweaking. You got the Iowa women who still have 11, 12 players, whatever it may be. Things are a little slower as it comes to making a complete roster in college basketball. And then the football stuff is, guys, it's coming. It's right around the corner. It's going to be another fun season of college football, both in Champaign, Iowa City. Ames will be interesting. We have a lot to talk about coming in the fall. We got more to get to. You're watching OTA on a Tuesday in the Quad Cities. We'll be right back. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with.
This summer, light the fuse on something bigger than fireworks. It's red, white, and you at the John Deere Classic. July 1st through 5th with world-class golf and 4th of July energy you can feel. Wednesday is Youth Day and kids 15 and under get in free with a paid adult. After golf, concerts on the course rocks the weekend. Carrie Underwood, headlines and All-American 4th of July celebration. And Old Dominion closes out Sunday. Stars, stripes, summer tradition. Get tickets now before they're gone at johndeereclassic.com.
Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Tuesday, June 16th. Thank you guys for joining us. However you are taking part of the show, we appreciate it each and every single day. Few things I want to talk about before we head one more break and get out of here for the day. History last night in Wrigley Field. Pete Crow Armstrong, PCA, with the cycle for the Cubs, did it in reverse style. He had a home run in the first. He had a triple in the third, doubled in the fifth, and then singled to complete the cycle in the seventh inning. He's the 13th Cub, only the second since 2000 to complete the cycle. It's crazy because there's so many people. He is such a love him or hate him type of player. My kids, I think, are part of the roller coaster ride too, where they get cranky with him when he struggles, and then when he's good, he's really good. But a special night last night for PCA at Wrigley Field, and the Cubs win on a thrilling walk-off walk, which everyone loves to see. So the Cubs back at it again today. They're back to 3 games above 500, but you look at that NL Central, and obviously they were one of the best teams in all of Major League Baseball. Now they're third place in the close standings that are the Central right now. When you look at the Central standings, obviously the Brewers pulling ahead of everybody, 43 and 26 overall. The Cardinals 39, and 31, 8 games over 500. that rebuild's going really good. And so see if the Cubs can get back on track. They won again yesterday, so we'll see if they can start stockpiling and stacking victories, if you will. And everyone's talking about those Southsiders, 38-32 in the season, 6 games over 500, first place in the AL Central, a tie for first place with the Cleveland Guardians at 39-33. So Major League Baseball, it gets to that, 4th of July and moving after that, things get really interesting when it comes to Major League Baseball. John Deere Classic news, the Savannah Bananas, some of the players from the Savannah Bananas coming in to take part in Kids Day and the Pro-Am on Wednesday of John Deere Classic. That's very cool. We're getting there. Tomorrow marks 2 weeks until the start of the John Deere Classic, or till the Pro-Am. Tomorrow's 2 weeks to the Pro-Am. So we're going to try to catch up with Andrew Lehman sometime this week. He's busy, so I don't want to bug him with stuff, but they'll continue to see the field come to fruition and take shape, and I know they're excited about that as well. So a lot of good things to get to. So yeah, 2 weeks from today. Is that real? Yeah, 2 weeks from today, I'll be setting up shop in Andrew Lehman's office. We'll be doing this show, the Off the Air with Matt Randazzo, every single day from the John Deere Classic, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, out at the Stonehouse. So excited about that. Got a lot of fun things planned. So that will be here before we know it, which is crazy to think about. Last week on the show, we talked on Thursday and Friday about the Alleman football program, the Western Big Six, how it affects everybody. Is there a solution moving forward? The feedback was outstanding. Thank you guys for the feedback. For the most part, 99.9% of it was respectful feedback, if that makes any sense. That doesn't mean they agree with what I said. Doesn't mean they disagree. But for the vast majority of it was respectful. There wasn't any angst or hatred around what we talked about. Thursday, if you missed it, we talked with Greg Armstrong from View from the West about the news, what it means, how you fix it. We talked about letting Alleman out of the Western Big Six for football only. Kind of gave a timeline of, back in January, Alleman asked the Western Big Six to get out for football only. They were told no. They approached the season hoping to have a varsity football season, but said at the same time, they can't promise, or we'll see what happens. And obviously they pulled the plug in June, hopefully giving teams enough time. So I get the frustration on both sides. Obviously there's frustration on Alleman. There's frustration with the Western Big Six. On Friday's show, we talked with Matt Schuckman from Muddy River Sports, and he wrote an article saying Alleman should graciously leave the Western Big Six. And a lot of what Matt said, some of what Matt says, I do agree with. Unfortunately, you can't leave a conference if you have no place to go these day and age of high school sports. So that makes it difficult, and there's really no place for Alleman to go. So anyways, not trying to get into the debate or the argument or the conversation once again, but I want to thank the people who reached out and had suggestions. I think everyone's trying to figure it out as well on both sides. And I will say this, on Thursday, I did talk heavily about the Western Big Six letting Alleman out for football only. I do understand, and what does make it different that I want people to understand that makes it difficult is that you can't just have a universal bye week or non-conference week where everyone plays a conference opponent and then they play 6 Western Big Six games. You're going to be playing with 7 teams in the conference. During conference play, there's going to be 3 games, and then there's going to be one team every week looking for a non-conference game. That's difficult matching up with other conferences that are in play and being able to get an open date. So it's not an easy fix. I don't want to make it feel like it is by just simply doing that. I think it's better than the alternative of doing this every year, but I don't know. We'll see. So anyways, if you have feedback, let me know. We'll talk more about it as the summer moves on. Football is right around the corner, which is really exciting. I know that it's earlier this year than ever before, so we'll be previewing and talking more about it. And I will also remind everyone, the View from the West kickoff party, the second annual, we can say that, in partnership with OTA, will be at the other bar once again on August 9th, Sunday, August 9th. I know the Western Big Six banquet is the 16th as well. The View from the West is not just Western Big Six, but a lot of coaches will be there, a lot of local coaches, a lot of area coaches. So should be a fun time. Put that on your calendar. I got to grab lunch yesterday with Andy Furman from Godfathers. My kid loves Godfather's Pizza, and rightfully so. And he mentioned, like, he already has it on his calendar. So we want to get the word out as fast as possible just so people can mark that date. So August 9th, Sunday, the other bar, View from the West kickoff party. It's also my birthday. So if you want to put that on your calendar as well, that'd be great. Send money. We can always use money. So I did talk about it at the beginning of the show. I want to kind of finish with this before we take one more break. The Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf Outing is coming up this weekend. We have one team still available. If anyone is interested in playing, go to GuyRandazzoGolf.com, get signed up. 35 teams right now, hoping to add a 36th. We've talked about the people that will be there. A lot of local sports celebrities, Iowa basketball players, hopefully some Iowa football players, still ironing those details out. But a lot of fun on the course, familiar faces from my former life at WQAD, local coaches. Should be a blast. So come on out, join us. Great food, Snoop's chips and salsa on the course, a fantastic Mexican meal afterwards from Snoop as well. So, and yes, I am trying to get, like, there's one person that reached out. I won't call him out on the air, but you're probably listening. That doesn't love tacos. Nothing against Snoop. So I'll try to get you a kid's meal or a burger somewhere. So get signed up if you're interested in joining us. We'd love to have you. Also, there's a silent auction going on right now at GuyRandazzoGolf.com. Just opened up some great prizes and auction items, I should say, up for bid. The women's basketball program at the University of Iowa has donated 4 tickets to any game this season. 4 tickets. Also 4 dry fit Iowa women's basketball shirts. You can see them right there. Awesome shirts. And then 4 of the Iowa mugs as well. So a great package. I think they said it's valued at almost $500. That's not what the opening bid is. So you can get a great discount right now if you go be that opening bid right now and get on and take part in that as well. Also, from the University of Iowa football program, Kirk Ferentz signed autograph football. Make sure you get that. The Big Ten's all-time winningest coach. You can get that right now as well. We'll also have a Bennett Sturt signed photograph, a Cooper Koch signed print. Cooper will be at the outing himself. And then also a Luka Garza signed shirt from his retirement ceremony that evening. A limited edition shirt signed by Luka. So go check it out. There's about 5 or 6 items. Nothing crazy. This isn't the Chuck Long charity auction or anything wild. But if you can't make it out to the course, if you're someplace in the state of Iowa and you love the Hawkeyes and you watch the show and you want to help out, a great way to do so is get a great item in the silent auction and help us raise a little money and help us celebrate my old man as we celebrate Father's Day weekend this weekend at Highland Springs Golf Course for the 12th annual Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf Outing. Crazy to think that he's been gone that long, but I'm proud of what we do. We got one more timeout. We will let you know what's coming up tomorrow and get you off on get you ready to go for the rest of your Tuesday right after this. You're watching OTA. We'll be right back.
Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Tuesday in the Quad Cities. Snoops will be in full effect this weekend at the Gary Randazzo Memorial Golf Outing. I'm going to go visit Snoop tomorrow. If you're listening to Snoop, I'm going to come by and visit tomorrow morning before the show. Tomorrow we have a great show. Really excited about it. Back from his elaborate fancy vacation, Tom Caker's going to join us. His daughter graduated high school, so they went to California for an awesome trip. He's back. Caden Daughtry, one of the biggest recruits for Iowa, hopeful recruits, possible recruits, has set an official for his visit to the University of Iowa. We'll talk with Tommy about that, some basketball stuff. We'll look ahead to some football as well, kind of get caught up with Tom Caker. It's been several weeks. I mean, a while since Tommy's been on the show. So Tom Caker returns to I feel like it's an episode of Monday Night Raw. Tom Caker returns to OTA tomorrow. So we're excited about that. Also, we mentioned it a little bit today. Will Carius will be on the show tomorrow. Will, former Pleasant Valley standout, former Western Illinois standout, and former Monmouth College standout. Just got done with another great season of professional basketball, playing in Greece at one of the best at one of the best levels you can. So really enjoy him. One of my favorite people I've gotten to cover in my time in the Quad Cities. We'll have him on the show tomorrow. Also, tomorrow is Wednesday. That means our FCA Story of the Week from Dan Pearson comes your way tomorrow as well. All that and much, much more as we work our way through a summer week here in the Quad Cities, a June week, middle of June week here in the Quad Cities. Again, there was no show yesterday, craziness of life, and I had every intention of doing one. I know for our viewers at WHO in Des Moines and Central Iowa, we sent you a best of show. So that was a good thing, but no new show yesterday. But we have today's obviously, we got a fun show coming up tomorrow. We'll do one on Thursday as well. No show on Friday. We'll get ready for the Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf Outing, and then we'll be back and rolling again next week. Next week we'll have a bunch of shows, and then the following week after that, it's John Deere Classic week. So we will have a John Deere Classic preview on Monday. Tuesday that week, we'll probably take the day off as I move into my new home, my humble new abode out at the John Deere Classic. And then we'll rock and roll Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as well. That's the plan. So it's crazy to think that John Deere Classic is that close, and 4th of July is that close. I got to go tell my kids downstairs that 4th of July is coming, which means summer's halfway over. So no, it's been a fun summer, a quick summer. And the beauty part about summer, moving along, and I love summer, but it means we're getting closer to football season. And I think everyone enjoys the heck out of that as well. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I appreciate everyone who watches, takes part in the show, comes on the show as guests, and the sponsors as well for making this thing an actual success so far, which we love. So hopefully you enjoyed an episode, or I should say a Tuesday episode of OTA. We'll be back again with another one tomorrow. We'll see you then.